Hi, I'm Elizabeth MacLeod, author and illustrator of the Wild One Mystery Cards.
And I'm Sarah Sahota, and I'm here as a life artist.
And we're here today because we're just going to throw open the cards and we're going to start to play and we're going to see what kind of topics come up. And one of the things that we were talking about before we came on is what did we want to talk about today? And one of the things that sort of came forward was, well, what does it mean to be in guidance? What does it mean to have guidance? And so we thought, let's start by just pulling a Wild One Mystery card and see what happens.
Allow guidance.
And allow guidance to really occur. So, exactly.
Yeah, right? Allow for our guidance.
So when you pull a card, a lot of people ask me, well, how do you do that? And when do you do it? It doesn't really matter when or how. You can do it in the morning. You can do it in the evening. You can do it when you have a specific question. What do you do with the cards when you...
I allow them to kind of speak to me. They say, like, pick me, I have something to say.
Right,
like,
okay.
I know when I'm meant to pull them. It's pretty clear.
So you just do it any old time you feel like it? Like when you feel something sort of drawn to you and then you
or if I feel something kind of off.
Right.
Like
how do you know if you need guidance? I mean, I think some people would sort of like, well, how do you know when you need guidance?
My answer to that would be like, you know you need guidance when things feel kind of unknown or you're doubting yourself or for me, I have this deep experience like, no, don't try to do this one on your own. And that's when I know that it's time to pay closer attention to my guidance.
Nice. And so sometimes, we all need help sometimes. And as women, we sometimes think we have to do it all ourselves, but it's not really the truth, right?
Yeah.
I mean, we all have our own truth. And of course we can do it ourselves if we really do it. But really, can we? Mm-hmm. So here we are in guidance. For me, sometimes it's sort of a matter of between ego and intuition.
Yes.
So it's like, how do you tell the difference between your ego and your intuition? So it's like the ego, you're more in your head. You feel it in your head, and it's more like the thinking.
Yeah.
And with your intuition, you would feel it more in your heart. And it comes more from your belly and your heart. So sometimes if I'm in a battle between my head and my heart, that's also a good time, I find, to get the cards out and let them talk and take me back into my own self a little bit more. So we're going to pull a card and see what guidance we come up with today and what it is that what we want to share and see what it is about guidance that we need to know right now.
Absolutely.
Do you want to pull the card?
Sure. Presence.
Well, it's pretty interesting, isn't it? Right?
Yeah.
I mean, what do you need in terms of guidance?
Oh,
we need the presence of ourselves. We need the presence of our environment around us, and we need to know what's happening for us. And so that alone, just noticing that we need guidance takes from the place of presence. So it's very interesting. You can see how even using the cards, if you don't even know the answer to the question that you want to talk about or that you want to share with yourself or find out the answer to, pull a card and it will guide you to the place you need to be. So being here now is really the only place you need to be when you're looking for guidance in a place. And if you're not there, the cards are a good place to be.
Yeah, and it's interesting that you mentioned ego versus the heart and the guidance. And if we're not present, my experience is that the ego feels a bit like these swirly thoughts. And the thoughts in my head are justifying and logical and, the pros and the cons and I don't feel present when that's going on. I feel kind of like scooped up in a process.
Right.
And presence, when you come back down to it, it connects you to guidance.
Yes,
and
it does.
You can distinguish. Kind of sometimes guidance is the one that feels like, no, don't make me do that one. And it makes no logical sense. But when you have presence, then you're aware that it's guidance. And
all you can do. Yes, and something else is possible. And all you can do is really be present. I remember, going through, I didn't know what to do. My mom was very, very ill. And I was just like lost in how to guide the whole process because, there was all these doctors to maintain and all this stuff. And actually, it's when I wrote the presence card is when I was sitting in the living room one day and I just realized all you can do is be present. That's all you can do. Yeah. And everything else will take care of itself if you have that.
Yes. It's like the nowness, right? I think we read The Power of Now and we get the concept of now.
Yeah.
But without being present in the now,
Right.
then the now never really exists. It exists as a place to get to something else. But when we're present with the now, we can also have all those great things, gratitude and...
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, they're all open to possibility. We have an opportunity for something else rather than our head spinning.
Totally.
So if our head is spinning, really what that means is that if our head is going and going and going, I mean, there might be a lot going on, and a reason for that, you're working on a project or something's happening. But if your head is really talking a lot and you're not feeling it in your heart, it may be that your head is really actually there to follow through with your heart. So if it's talking a lot, then that's a good time to sort of settle in and see what kind of guidance you need. And then what you need from that place, how you pull yourself into a place that's going to nourish and support you. Presence in this, in my deck, all of these cards are chakra coded and color coded, as you know. And this particular one is the second chakra. Which is sort of interesting because it's passion, it's creativity, it's relationship. So it's interesting that we get, when we're talking about how do we know when we need guidance, we get the one that's in the chakra that's talking about relationship, and here it's talking about a relationship with ourselves, which actually allows us to have a relationship with each other, which allows this conversation to unfold, but it also connects us with the relationship with Source or God or whatever it is that you want to call that sort of bigger power.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah. Yeah.
And how many times do we say, you know, I don't remember even being there, or, you know, oh, the last year just flew by.
Yeah.
And I think, you know, what we're sometimes not present to is that we're not present in those everyday moments, in how great this coffee is, in how, you know, great it is to be together. The joy of being in this beautiful space we call British Columbia. Yeah, really, when you're present, gratitude is present.
Gratitude can be present. Yeah, it has that possibility, like you were saying before. Exactly. Yeah. And, you know, it's funny, I have the oils that go with them, malas and earrings and all sorts of things. And this particular one, smell it and see what it does for you.
I feel like I'm in a trail, which is my favorite. If you don't know me, I love to be outside and running, and it's my meditation.
It's pretty cool.
Nature brings us present.
It does. Nature, it's a really great way to get present. Right? It's like, go for a walk and let the trees talk to you, you know, let the pathway, let the sky open above you and around you, and that's a good way to be present. Interesting that we smell that and it just opened us into that. Oh yeah, right. That's a real sort of orangey smell. The color for this particular one is orange. So if you're struggling right now, or if you're wondering, or if you're wanting to be more present, you can actually just bring the color orange into your world a little bit more. So you can paint your toes orange, or, you know, you can eat an orange, you know, like all of those kinds of things. We forget that that's sort of another way. There's so much support out there. All we have to do is bring the consciousness of what that is forward. So it's really interesting to me. Isn't it, Sarah? Like that we got the presence card.
And presence on so many levels. And isn't it so perfect? Because we are human and we're wild women, and we're sitting here and we want to bring you and us something that's so valuable and so worth our time together and your time here with us. And so it's great that our first card for today is the presence card.
Yes, and it's like a present.
It is.
Right. It's like, you know, it's really beautiful. If you see, she's standing, when I drew her, really, she's just really standing quite present to her situation here, and she's got the moon shining in the background, really holding her space as well. So she's being supported by the universe as well at the same time. And when her feet are really, she's very, very much on the ground. This is the essence of presence, is just being right there. Right where you are. We're sitting right here. You're sitting where you are. Being in the moment as much as we can be. And that helps with guidance.
It does. Yeah, absolutely.
Right.
Yeah.
So that was pretty cool. Let's do a little card, I don't know why, for just a little blessing.
I love it.
Heartbeat. So it's a good way to close. So when you're present, then of course your heart gets to beat. And that takes us into the next episode.
Oh, I love it. Thanks for joining us.
Thanks for joining us. Take care.